Are you tired of getting absolutely slapped about if you're playing mage or even the swordsman? Well, guess what? The devs have heard you, and we're going to be looking into some of the dev feedback and responses that's been announced on the Discord server, which obviously promises some big hopes and dreams. So let's get into today's video on the new potential class update coming to Legend of Mushroom. Hello everyone, yes, smash a like, comment and subscribe for more daily videos with me, MrSneakyy. We are growing every single day in our little shroomy family here on YouTube, so why not make it grow even bigger? Because 90%, boys, 90% of you are watching and not even subscribed, so just help a fellow shroomer out, boys. We are an official Legend of Mushroom content creator after all. So, with all of that, let's get into today's video because we're gonna go over basically these new class potential updates, right? Because as you guys know, if we look in this pure class here, most players right now, I'm gonna be honest, are playing a very small pool, right? You're either playing the Warbringer, the Plume Monarch, or basically the Arrow God, right? So either playing Warmonger, Arrow God, or Shadow Hunter. There's a very small pool of mages, right? And the people that are playing mages are suffering. And I do know you are suffering, boys. There's no honest, real character to these guys. I'm going to be honest. Obviously, they do the skill crit damage, but for like even like the Chronomancer, right? He wants to stun a lot, and there's not enough stun really in the game for him to get that energy regen on all of their skills, right? So if we go into the Discord server, this is the actual main Legend of Mushroom Discord server. I will put a link in the description below. If you're not part of it, you should just join it. We can be all in here, and obviously a lot of my videos do get announced on here too. But when we're looking at the actual announcements, right, if you scroll up, this is around, if you just look back a couple of days ago, right? What's more importantly is the second question, right? This is a very important question because it says the imbalance of class development, right? Mages a week after level 100. And this is very true in my eyes too. I can see it. Anytime I feel like I'm going against a mage as an arrow god player, or I can imagine as a warrior, it does feel like you just absolutely slap them. And the mage progression in PvE content as well for my family members is just slowed down to the point where they have even spent the 4,000 gems to swap class, which is very upsetting, right? Because you don't really want to swap class because it's just straight up weaker compared to all the others, right? And we can see here the answer from the devs is very promising, right? We will fully consider game balancing issues and make adjustments, appropriate adjustments after collecting sufficient data. Players who focus on mages can pay attention to attribute boosts brought by the upcoming new events, which will be helpful, right? So this is going to be interesting why they talking about it like this, because if we go into the game again, what are they on about? Are they talking about, is there gonna be basically a brand new, event that might allow mages to get something like their souls easier, right? Is it gonna be a new event where, as we know in the artifacts, right, you get this brand new set bonus, right, with these 6-piece runes that you can imbue into these artifacts now? Do they mean that, right? Is that the new mechanic they talk about, which will help the mage class more than the others? Who knows, right? But I personally think a mechanic or an event like this shouldn't be the answer, right? The way, if we look at things, even in just like the basics, right? Let's just bring this game to a very basic dilemma, right? And it comes back to the evolutions of the classes, right? At the start, we have warrior, archer, and mage. So in reality, this is a rock, paper, and scissors setup, right? Meaning warrior being the rock, rock beats maybe archer, archer beats the mage beats the warrior, right? Because obviously warrior is just counter-striking all the hits back, but a mage player doesn't care about that. They should be able to hit and kill a warrior player because of all the skill damage and the nukes they'll be able to do, right? So you would assume this rock, paper, scissors formula would be more implemented, and maybe this is the route they might start to go down in the future, because if they just had a very simple, maybe like 15% damage, right? If you are a mage player, you deal 15% more damage and take 15% more less damage from a warrior, and then the warrior is the same against the archer, and then the archer is the same against the mage, because that should mean no matter what, generally if you're within the same power, your class should be the other class that you expect to be, right? Which would be a very good step in the right direction, because then when it comes down to all of these different sorts of modes, you know, different, you know, styles of gameplay, maybe they tweak the numbers, right? Maybe a Arrow God player, because he's hitting so much, only has something like a 10%, right? And then maybe the Shadowhunter gets a little bit more, 12%. Who knows, right? We can keep talking about these numbers hypothetically, right? We can understand where we're coming from. And I think just having a baseline would solve a lot of the problems for the game, right? And hopefully, like I say, in the future, we will see that, because like I say, when we go into the PvP ladder, especially in my server, anyone who is basically mage is not in this top 10. Like, there's not really a top 10. I think Japs is the only mage, and I think he's swapped to warrior even. He's 62% counter strike, so that might even show he might have swapped. Yeah, where's the war axe, right? We've got the war axe. So even everyone is basically playing warrior or archer, which is very upsetting, and I obviously want to see this get changed, because the cool thing as well, if we just want to talk a little bit more about the mage class, right, the mages could do some really cool stuff. That's the real sad thing about it, right? You do have access to skills, even like Meteor 4, right? Which is increasing your skill damage by 30%. And then you've got Smoke Bomb on top of that, which is doing another 30%. With Crimson Moonfall, like, you can see where this is going, and Star Array. Like, there's an insane 4-skill combo there of insane nuclear damage, right? With insane stacking buffs. But I don't feel like they're able to do anything cool like that, because they just die, right? They're just absolute paper machines, and they just get rolled because of it. So I would love to see some changes in that direction, or maybe even just make the mage class different, right? Because there's also one very cool point that I have kind of said to myself, was like, why is there no PAL build, right? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there's all these PALs, and these PALs do some really insane damages, especially when you're looking at stuff like, you know, the chicken, when you pile that with your relics, right? And you have this relic doing an insane 1400% extra damage. Like, that's really powerful, right? And you can do some crazy builds, but there's no real class that kind of does that, even if there is a skill for it still, right? There is the slime bomb over here that's going to give you 30% even PAL damage. So you could even make like an extra class, right? A summoner class almost that excels in PAL damage, and it would honestly catch people off guard getting absolutely rolled by these passive AI PALs that have really got good attack, you know, high multipliers with some really powerful relics behind them, right? So I'm just saying there's a few options, right, that the mage class itself could go in. It could have a overhaul, it could get a new class potentially, it could definitely get this rock, paper, scissors formula that I think the PvP definitely needs in this game. And all of us, or any of those changes, I think should be helpful, right? And I would love to hear from the other mage players, right, who have watched this video all the way through. I would love to hear your comment down the section below, right? So if you are, and you've enjoyed this video, smash a like, comment, and subscribe, guys. My name is MrSneakyy, and I am an official Legend of Mushroom, and if you want to save yourself a little bit of money, guess what? Aptoide will give you that 5% bonus every time you make a purchase with my code MrSneakyy. All caps, guys, nice and simple for you. So with all of that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until the next one, stay safe, stay snaky, guys. Peace out.